जय. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Sham Kund Giri Govardhan ki jai. Shri Vrindavan Mathura Dham ki jai. Jagannath Puri Dham ki jai. Mathura Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Ganga Jamuna Mai ki jai. Saraswati Mata ki jai. Tulsi Devi ki jai, Vrinda Devi ki jai, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we're reading from Canto 3, Chapter 5 and verse number 2. So it's not written there, but anyway, it is 352. Yes? Vidura Vacha. Sukhaya karmani karoti loko. Natai sukham vanyad uparamam va. Vindeta bhuyas tata eva dukham. Yad atra yuktam bhagavan vadennaha. Vidura vacha. Sukhaya karmani karoti loko. Natai sukham vanyad uparamam va. Vindeta bhuyas tata eva dukham. Yad atra yuktam bhagavan vadanyaha. Vidurvacha. Sukhaya karmani karoti loko. Natai sukham vanyad uparamam va. Vindeta bhuyas tata eva dukham. Yad atra yuktam bhagavan vadanyaha. Sukhaya karmani karoti loko. Sukhaya karmani karoti loko. Natai sukham vanyad paramava. Vindeta bhuyas tata eva dukham. Yatatra yuktam bhagavan vadennaha. Vidura vacha. Sukhaya karmani karoti loko. Mataji, please. Vidura Vacha. Vidur said, Sukhaya, for attaining happiness. Karmani, fruitive activities. Karoti, everyone does. Everyone does so. Sorry. Lokaha, in this world. No, never, tai, by those activities. Sukham, any happiness. Va, or, anyat, differently. Uparamam, satiation. Va, either. Vindeta, achieves. Bhuyaha, on the contrary. Tataha, by such activities. Eva, certainly. Dukham, miseries. Yat, that which. Atra, under the circumstances. Uktam, right course. Bhagavan, O Great One. Vadet, may kindly enlighten. Naha, us. Vidura said, O great sage, everyone in this world engages in fruitive activities to attain happiness. But one finds neither satiation nor the mitigation of distress. On the contrary, one is only aggravated by such activities. Please, therefore, give us directions on how one should live for real happiness. So please repeat after me. Vidur said, O great sage, everyone in this world engages in fruitive activities to attain happiness. But one finds neither satiation nor the mitigation of distress. On the contrary, one is only aggravated by such activities. Please, therefore, give us directions on how one should live for real happiness. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Vidur asked Maitreya some common questions, which was not originally his intention. Uddhava asked Vidur to approach Maitreya Muni and inquire into all the truths concerning the Lord, his name, fame, quality, form, pastimes, entourage, etc. And thus, when Vidur approached Maitreya, he should have asked only about the Lord. But out of natural humility, he did not immediately ask about the Lord, but inquired into a subject which would be of great importance to the common man. A common man cannot understand the Lord. He must first know the real position of his life under the influence of the illusory energy. In illusion, one thinks that he is happy only by fruitive activities. But what actually happens is that one becomes more and more entangled in the network of action and reaction and does not find any solution to the problem of life. There is a nice song in this connection. Because of a great desire to have all happiness in life, I built this house. But unfortunately, the whole scheme has turned to ashes because the house was unexpectedly set on fire. The law of nature is like that. Everyone tries to become happy by planning in this world, in the material world. But the law of nature is so cruel that it sets fire to one's schemes. The fruitive worker is not happy in his schemes, nor is there any satiation of his continuous hankering for happiness. Mukyantimirandasya jnanagyan shalakaya chakshuranmalitam yena tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanavatam Smitam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gorhangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sutta Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrindam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So this verse is very nice. Vidur is actually being compassionate to the fallen souls, and although he is very elevated personality, he's actually one of the 12 Mahajans. He's Yamaraj, but he wants an opportunity to preach. So he comes, he's been cursed by a Muni, Mandavakya Muni, but he comes to preach. So as Vidur, he got the opportunity to preach. So there are three personalities in the whole of Srimad Bhagavatam who are exchanging views with one another. First is Sukadeva Goswami is speaking to Maharaj Parikshit. Second is Sutta Goswami is speaking to the sages of Namasharena forest. And the spokesman there for questions is our, what's his name? Shonaka Rishi. He's the spokesman. And the third conversation which goes on throughout the Bhagavatam is Vidur is asking questions to Maitreya Muni. So there are three conversations going on side by side, or inside outside, or there are three conversations parallel. It's not chronological, but these three conversations are going throughout the Bhagavatam. So here in this particular section, we are talking about Vidur asking various questions to Maitreya Muni. What happened is that Vidur wanted to know everything from Uddhava, but Uddhava is a younger person. Although he was more qualified, he was a pure devotee of Krishna compared to Maitreya Muni, who is considered a mixed devotee. But Maitreya Muni and Uddhava, they were both taught by Lord Krishna before he left the mortal world. So both knew the same information, same knowledge. But Krishna told Uddhava to go to Badrikashram. That was his instruction to his pure devotee. He wanted to just stay with Krishna all the time, but sometimes you can be with your spiritual master, etc. But if his instruction is to go somewhere and preach, like Srila Prabhupada did to so many of his disciples, you go here and preach, you go here and preach. The instructions are more important than the association of Srila Prabhupada or Krishna. So Vani is more important than Vapu. Vapu is personal presence. Vani is the instructions. So Uddhava was instructed to go to Badrik Ashram. Why? Because Krishna, in his pastimes here, his schedule was very tight. And he could not make it to the Badrik Ashram. So he deputed his pure devotee, Uddhava, that please you go and disseminate the knowledge. So that was his instruction, and that's what he did. So Uddhava went to Badrik Ashram, and he told Vidur to meet him at Haridwar, where the Ganges, the source of the Ganges is. So Maitreya Muni was there, and Vidur arrives in Haridwar, and he meets Maitreya Muni and asks various questions. Now he was supposed to ask, detailed questions about the pastimes, creation, this, that, everything, about the Lord. But anyway, Vidur, being compassionate, he said, how do people get real happiness? So, one example is that, like a spider's web. The web is just formed like this by the spider. And then the more he spits, or from saliva, it gets more and more deep, and the entanglement gets worse and worse and worse. So similarly, with our material consciousness, when we try and think about happiness, we are actually getting more and more deeply involved, and we don't get the real happiness. We get more misery, actually. So in the material world, there are 7 miseries. Anybody know one of them? There are 3, okay. Instead of 1, 3, well, you get 3 marks. Okay, so let's repeat that. Adi, Atmik. Anybody know? Atmik is what? Is personal, yeah? Body, relating to body and mind. Yes? So that, I have diabetes, so that's my body. Yes? I've got illness. So one is bodily, Adi Atmik. Next one, Adi Bhotik. Bhotik means, Maharaj explained very nicely, that there are 8,400,000 species of life. So 8,400,000 species of life minus 1 is troubling you. So don't think only 1% is troubling me or whatever. 8,400,000 minus 1 is troubling you. So this is Adi Bhotik. Yes? The third one is Adi Devik. Only yesterday or day before, I think it was. Yeah, we had lots of thunderstorms. I could hardly sleep. There was so much noise. You just couldn't sleep. But that is the devas, the demigods. They disturb us. So thunderstorms, drought, whirlpool, or earthquakes. These are all done by demigods, and we have no control over it. Yes. So those are 3, and the other 4 are birth, death, old age, and disease. So again, disease comes in various forms, like cancer or this or that, or even diabetes is one of the diseases. As you get older, in this country, I think about over 40, then you get what is called mature onset diabetes. So although you may not have diabetes at a younger age, when you get older, the functions get, it doesn't produce enough insulin. So then you get diabetes. But there are cures and there's medicine, so it's nothing to worry about. It's one of those things. You get old, then, you're not that beautiful, and people think, when you look at the mirror, you think something's wrong, but nothing's wrong. You're just getting old, So old age, disease, it will happen. So we have to accept those facts. But to get out of all these 7 miseries, if you take up Krishna consciousness, if you take up a spiritual process, there are 4 sampradayas which are, bona fide. But in our case, we are following Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then we have this good fortune that if we take up Krishna consciousness, all the activities become transcendental. And then at the end of this life, hopefully, you don't have to tolerate all these miseries. You can go up or you can go down, to different planets in the material world. Highest is Brahmaloka. Yeah? So you can go up to Brahmaloka, but the same 7 miseries are there. So we want to try and get out altogether. Yes? So that's the idea. I've made some notes, and then hopefully if I can see them, yes, I can see them. Okay. So in Bhagavad Gita 8:15, the second line, it says, Dukha layam ashasvatam. What does that mean? Dukha alayam, place of misery. This whole material world, starting from Brahmalok down to the hellish planets, is all places of miseries. So whatever we try and do, we try and become happy, you can't become happy because it's a place of misery. This is the point. Yeah. What can I say? Our consciousness is like sometimes like that of a hog. And a hog is enjoying himself in a pool of stool. And he is enjoying. He's thinking, this is like jalebi. Yeah. He is enjoying. He doesn't want to know more than, anything else. He's just enjoying. He says, I'm having fun. Yeah. And hogs normally have sex with the other partners so many times without discrimination. So they feel they are happy. They feel this tool is like inverted commas, yeah? So they're happy. And similarly, most of the common people, which Vidur is referring to, most of the common people, we think that we are enjoying. We come to the temple, take some darshan, and go back home and do whatever you want. And go on cruises or go on holidays. And we think we are happy. But we are not. This is the point. Yeah? The hog thinks he's happy. He is happy because he's got a hog's body. But we have got a human brain. We're supposed to use that brain. And the way to use it is that our eternal position is that of an eternal servant of Krishna. We are part and parcel of Krishna, and we are supposed to serve the whole. Yes? So once we know that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead, our job is to serve Him. Somehow or other, we serve Him. And in ISKCON, we have this process, very nice process. You try and find a guru, and guru takes you to Krishna. Guru is very qualified to take you back to Krishna. So all we have to do is just follow the process, and gradually you find a guru, and then guru gives you initiation, and then you've joined ISKCON, and then you're on a pathway back to the spiritual world. So then you don't suffer all these miseries. So a wonderful process, ISKCON, all over the world. It's just too good. Okay, so after attaining me, the great souls who are yogis in devotion, so all the ISKCON devotees, never return to this temporary world, which is full of miseries. So this is one solution, become a Krishna conscious person, and then, because you've attained the highest perfection. So that's it. Now, in Bhagavad Gita chapter 18, text 36 to 37, 38, 39, Krishna says what is happiness. There are different types of happiness. So, we are trying to gain happiness. So here, Krishna is telling Arjuna, O best of the Bharatas, now please hear from me about the three kinds of happiness by which the conditioned soul enjoys, and by which he sometimes comes to the end of all distress. So 37 is that which in the beginning may be just like poison, but at the end is just like nectar, and which awakens one to self-realization, is said to be happiness in the mode of goodness. This is what we are promoting in ISKCON. That, sometimes, this chanting of the holy name is not like nectar. It's like poison, why should I do it? Why should I wake up early? Why should I do this? So this is natural. But once you get the taste of it, it will become nectar. And this is self-realization. Yeah? That's the best. Second one, he says, that happiness which derived from contact of the senses with their objects, which 99.9% people do. They just think, and they think about their senses and how to please them. Not please Krishna's senses. They want to please their senses. This is where we are going wrong, and we think we are being happy, by following our senses. That is not good. It will tell us why. That happiness which is derived from contact with the senses, with their objects, and which appears like nectar at first, but poison at the end, is said to be of the nature of passion. Now, usually, during Christmas time, people change partners or, this and that, they're drunk, they don't know what they're doing. But what happens? January, the solicitors are very busy because there are so many divorces, etc. They're minting money, solicitors, in January because so many divorces. So that one is a nature of passion. Passion, you don't know what you're doing, right or wrong, And 39 says that happiness which is bound to self-realization, which is delusion from beginning to end, which arises from sleep, laziness and illusion, is said to be of the nature of ignorance. So I met a couple of devotees in Sweden long time ago, and their profession was to work in the slaughterhouse. So day and night, all they were doing just killing. And then after associating with one or two, advanced devotees, they left their work, and they were the ones who told me, look, I was in total ignorance, I didn't know what I was doing. So this is, once somebody is awakened to self-realization, they know what they've done wrong and then try and correct their lives. So that was already in ignorance from start to finish, you see. So, but now they are very good devotees. ISKCON is a wonderful process, absolutely wonderful process. Okay, so let's move on to a little bit extra. All right, in the nectar of devotion, Krishna himself has this quality. He has 64 good qualities, but number 38 is regarding happy. So any person who is always joyful and untouched by any distress is called happy. Thus Krishna is defining what is happiness. So any person who is always joyful, Krishna is always joyful. Most of the devotees here are joyful, or in fact all of them. Untouched by any distress is called happy. Not even a slight distress can touch Krishna. So that's the definition of happiness. Right, that's that. Okay, in Srimad Bhagavatam 11.3.21, Prabhuda tells Maharaj Nimi, my dear king, please know for certain that in the material world there is no happiness. It is simply a mistake to think that there is happiness here, because this place is full of nothing but miserable conditions. So Maharaj Nimi is told there is no happiness here. To seek real happiness, take shelter of a spiritual master and serve him. Accept spiritual master as God, as he is the external manifestation of Krishna. There are two gurus. One is Chaitya Guru, Krishna himself as Chaitya Guru inside, from inside. He is also a Paramatma, he is a soul. Paramatma, he is a super soul. So he is guiding you from inside. And from outside, he actually finds you a suitable spiritual master. If you are sincere in serving Krishna, he will find you a spiritual master who will help you from outside, external. Yeah? So externally, a spiritual master. Internally, Krishna will guide you. So there are two gurus. Yes? So Srila Rupa Goswami, in his Nectar of Devotion, he also says there are sources of happiness. There are three sources of happiness. So now in the Nectar of Devotion it is said, one is derived from material enjoyment. So there is no question that there is no enjoyment, no happiness in material enjoyment. There is none. But there is just flickering enjoyment, only for a second. But so much effort goes into that. And that is during this, the whole material world is an exploitation of sex. So that little enjoyment, so much hard work has to go into it. Yeah? So that's the only little pleasure one gets. And second one is identifying oneself with the Supreme Brahman. Now, there is a section of the public who like to just, even look at the sun rays, and they actually have this society called Brahma Kumaris. They only focus on one ray. So imagine all the lights here in the temple room are closed except for one light, and we are only looking at that one light. So it's like that, they're looking at this Brahma Jyoti, one light, and they feel satisfied. So there's a section of people, they are satisfied with just looking at one light. And the third one is derived from Krishna consciousness. Now this is pure devotion to Krishna, and that is real happiness. So when we started what is real happiness, there was a question asked by Vidur, how does one find real happiness? The answer is here. Krishna consciousness will give you real happiness. It's eternal. Happiness derived from pure devotional service is the highest and is eternal. Now there was another devotee of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu called Kolavecha Sridhar. Kolavecha Sridhar, he was a devotee and he was just worshipping the Ganga, Ganges, and 50% of his income was spent on worship of the deity. And 50% he was keeping for himself, and that was by selling these cups made from plantif. So when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu approached him and said, can I help you? Can I do something for you? Can I give you some, more Lakshmi or this or that? But he was happy with his service. This is the point. He was just continuously doing pure devotional service, and he wasn't concerned about any material or spiritual happiness. He was absolutely not concerned. He was just happy with his devotional service. So that's the point. A lot of devotees in our ISKCON, they are very sincerely devoted to service and nothing else. So they're focused and they concentrate, and then they get the answers. So okay, so this is the answer. Now the question was asked by Vidur, how does one get real happiness? And the answer is given by Maitreya Muni. In Srimad Bhagavatam 3:8-2. So 8th chapter he answers the question on verse number 2 again. This was 2, but chapter 5 and chapter 8 Maitreya Muni answers like this. Soham nirnam shula sukhaya dukham mahat katanam vinamaya tasya pravataye bhagavan puranam yad ada shakshad bhagavan rishibhihaya. Let me now begin speaking on the Bhagavad Purana, which was directly spoken to the great sages by the personality of Godhead for the benefit of those who are entangled in extreme miseries for the sake of very little pleasure. So here the Sankarshan, personality of Godhead, was speaking to the 4 sages, 4 Kumaras. They look like 5-year-old boys, 4 Kumaras. But the Sankarshan actually spoke Bhagavatam to them. But here, Srila Prabhupada actually clarifies our whole class today. The sage Maitreya proposed to speak on Srimad Bhagavatam because it was especially compiled and traditionally comes down in the disciplic succession for the solution of all the problems of human society. Only one who is fortunate can have the opportunity to hear Srimad Bhagavatam in the association of pure devotees of the Lord. Like we are all assembled here, and ISKCON centers around the world. We have a Srimad Bhagavatam class in the morning. Under the spell of material energy, the living entities are entrapped in the bondage of many difficulties simply for the sake of a little bit of material happiness. They engage in fruitive activities, not knowing the implications, under the false impression that the body is the self. The living entities foolishly relate to so many false attachments. They think they can engage with materialistic paraphernalia forever. This gross misconception of life is so strong that a person suffers continually, life after life, under the external energy of the Lord. If one comes in contact with the book Bhagavatam, as well as the devotee Bhagavat, who knows what is Bhagavatam, what Bhagavatam is, then such a fortunate man gets out of the material entanglement. Therefore, Sri Maitreya Muni, out of compassion for the suffering men in the world, proposed to speak on the Srimad Bhagavatam first and foremost. Okay, I'll just finish with two little songs which we most of the temples do every morning. One is Samsara Dhava Namalila Loka. This is by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. In the morning we sing the Mangalati prayers, where it says Samsara Dhava Namalila Loka. Now, Trinarya Karunya Ganakanatva. The spiritual master is receiving benediction from the ocean of mercy. Just as the cloud pours water on a forest fire to extinguish it, the spiritual master delivers the materially afflicted world by extinguishing the blazing fire of material existence. Okay? So this is one where we are trying to compare the fire which was described in the song. Prabhupada is mentioning about a song. The fire burns down the house. So here the fire is put out by the clouds. So spiritual master is giving mercy and he can extinguish the fire of material existence. And the second one is Chaito Dharpana. This is our Shikshashtakam, the first verse. Chaito Dharpana Majanam Bhavan Mahanavagni Nirvapanam. So on this one, the translation is Glory to Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditioned life, of repeated birth and death. So this is two stanzas which I've taken out, which will help us in trying to, with the fire of knowledge, we are trying to get rid of the miseries, the conditioned life, time and time over again. So I am now finished in my presentation of the class. You can now ask me any questions, comments, or corrections. Hari Guru Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. I just wanted to clarify, you said there are two gurus, but actually is one, Krishna's one, and he has two aspects. Acharya is Saksadhari and the super soul is Hari, so one guru.
Yes. One external, one internal.
One.
One guru. No problem. It's the way you understand. You are more clever than me. Understand correctly. Yeah. Yeah. Mic to Prayojan Prabhu, please.
Shikshashtakam again. Shikshashtakam.
Yes.
This is the last verse. I know no one but Krishna is my Lord. Even if he handles me roughly by his embrace or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me, he's completely free to do anything and everything.
It's true, very true. Very true. But he has so much love for Krishna. He can't stay even a moment away. It's like death. That's how we all want to become. We want to become pure devotees of Krishna and not forget Krishna for a moment. Never forget Krishna, always remember Krishna. So. Mic here, please, Prabhuji.
Krishna Prabhu. Thank you for your class. In the beginning of the class, you mentioned that wherever we are in this material world, we're going to encounter the 4 problems of life, which is birth, old age, disease, and death. So this is correct, yeah? So I've also heard that in the heavenly planets, actually you don't encounter disease and old age. That demigods kind of just bloop when they fall down to the material, the earthly planes. Can you just clarify that for me? Which one is
Okay,
correct?
right from Brahmaloka, where the demigods, or Brahma is the chief demigod, one of the chief demigods. So right from there to the hellish planets, all of them are affected by birth, death, old age, disease. The post of Brahma is just a post. It's like a ministerial post here in the government. There is one prime minister, but then there are plenty of ministers. So similarly, the spiritual world, not spiritual world, the material world is actually governed by different ministers. And they've been given the name demigods. One is in charge of rain, Indra. One is in charge of sun, which is Surya. They're all in charge. They're all given some responsibilities. Yes? But they all have to take birth again. They're not eternal.
Whether there is disease and old age.
There's disease, old age everywhere, except for Vaikuntha. Kunta, why Kunta? There's no anxiety, no disease, nothing. In the material world, here in Dwarka, there was one person called Satyajit. And he had this Shamantaka jewel. When he had this Shamantaka jewel, nobody had this old age, disease, this, that. Nothing happened because of the power of the Shamantaka jewel. But there's a one-off example in the Bhagavatam. Okay? But otherwise, everyone has to suffer or come down to earth. Yes. Would you like to answer this question?
I mean, I'll just add on from what you've said, Prabhu. I mean, I see what Rasananda Prabhu's saying. It's a question of degrees. So there is birth, death, old age, disease everywhere. Just like in this world, let's say a baby leaves their body straight after taking birth, because unfortunately that happens. So obviously they've born, they've died. Now one can argue that, okay, where's the old age and disease there in that baby's life? But Prabhupada also says that, you know, what is old age? It's how old you are till you die. So if a person's destined to die at a very young age, then they're old as well. So for that baby, the level of old age and disease may be very little because it just born and then dies. And some people have to go through the old age disease in a more drawn out manner, right? So even for a demigod, they might be fully healthy, fully like, you know, everything's going well until the moment they have to die. But that means that at the point at which they die, that's their just that moment before they've died, they've just experienced old age, even if it's for like a minute nanosecond. But they've just experienced, because old age is what you experience just before dying. And then the body finishing is also like a minute form of disease, because disease means that your body's crumbling now. So it's a matter of degrees. Yeah. But so some cases the disease and old age will be long. Yeah.
Good. Thank you. Jagannath. Jai Jagannath.
Yeah, I'll also add something. As much as I heard is that just a month before they have to go, because they wear garlands, the garland kind of dries up, and that's the sign that soon they'll have to leave. And yeah, like Niskinchan Prabhu said, that they just feel unwell for a little while. So their vigor is gone, their bodily luster is gone. and that means, okay, soon I'll have to go, like that. So it's still there, but it's to a lesser degree than here. But it's definitely there, like Sanjoti Prabhu was saying.
They lead their body through a tear. They cry when the garden fades. They cry, and then the soul leaves through the tear.
See, these are detailed descriptions. Did you hear what he said? Okay.
They don't die of sickness. They die of the dunya is run out. They cry with unhappiness because they know they have to go back to take birth in Hara.
Yeah, this is. They don't want to take birth here, but what can they do? No choice. Okay, I'm going to finish with the last paragraph, which Srila Prabhupada said here in the purport. There is this nice song in this connection. Because of a great desire to have all happiness in life, I built this house. So many people are, thinking like that. But unfortunately, the whole scheme has turned to ashes because the house was unexpectedly set on fire. The law of nature is like that. Everyone tries to become happy by planning in the material world, but the law of nature is so cruel that it sets fire to one's schemes. The fruity worker is not happy in his schemes, nor is there any satiation of his continuous hankering for happiness. So we should try not to build such houses, which get burnt by accident or whatever. We should just try and not build dreams. We should just surrender. If we got this human form of life, we should surrender to someone who is already surrendered to Krishna. So that's the point. If we surrender to someone who is, giving full service to Krishna, he'll be able to guide us. And then we will try not to think, our mind will be, our mind is either in material consciousness or spiritual consciousness. But if we get a lot of association of spiritual people, then we will get that association and then we'll think like that. We'll think like them. And then we'll become spiritual. So the conclusion is that we should associate with devotees. Doesn't matter what level they are in. Associate with devotees. And hopefully we'll, like a magnet, we will also become attracted to Krishna consciousness. So that's the lesson to learn. Just be happy. And Krishna conscious devotees, they're always happy. They're smiling. And that's all I have to say. No questions this side, ladies? No? You're all happy? You're all happy?
How would you understand that all living entities in the material world were demigods in the spiritual world at some stage and have to take birth in the material world before they could?
Yeah. How are we to understand that? It's like, I didn't expect an Indian Prime Minister about 5 years ago, 3 years ago, whatever, 4 years ago. What is it? 4 years? 5 years? How many? Anyway, so, it's a post. Prime Minister is a post. So the point is, I never dreamt. So one never dreams that he can become Brahma. But it's a post. If you do severe penances, Brahma had to do how much? 1 million years penance before he could find out what his mission was. So here, this post is available to anybody. You can become a MP. Today, is it today or yesterday? Yesterday was the election, so people can go and vote whoever they want. So similarly, this post about Brahma or us, it's all one material world. You can go up or you can go down. Does that make sense? It's a post, we just have to do our best. If you want that post, then you have to work hard and penance and... Am I right, Ms. Kinchana Prabhu? Parama Karuna. You seem to be acknowledging yes or no. Or some comment?
Hare Krishna, that was wonderful.
Have I made a mistake?
Everything seemed fine. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.